Thomas Ginter, your friendly neighborhood sales engineer here at Bandwidth. I have with me today Mark Fletcher with 911 Inform. Mark, why don't you give us just a little bit about you, and then we're going to dive into some short snapper questions.
Sure. Thanks very much, Thomas. Great to see you again. I'm Mark Fletcher. I'm your friendly neighborhood emergency number professional, and I'm the Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform.
Why don't we jump right in and tell us a little bit, a brief description or outline of your solution.
Sure. The 911 Inform platform is what we call an emergency event management platform. So while we deal with the problems of location of devices, we also look at the larger picture and try to create a situational awareness operational picture for public safety and internal first responders within a business environment that gives them a full view of what's happening when an emergency situation occurs. Get the right people to the right data at the right time, so to speak.
Okay, so what specific problems are you solving with the solution?
Well, we initially started dealing with Carey's Law, which I know a lot about. I wrote it. And also the Ray Bombs Act, that are really dealing with multi-line telephone systems. But when you look at the 911 call environment, those are really a small sliver of where the calls are originating. Over 85% nationally are coming from cell phones. And those are devices that the enterprise doesn't touch, doesn't see, and have no idea when they're making the calls. Also, they may have other sensors and other devices within their facility that they do have visibility of, but it's not something that can be gathered, collected, and shared as a full operational picture to public safety. So we look as to be an aggregation point for all of that information, package it up in a nice tidy package, hand it off internally so internal first responders can create an action plan, and they know that fire trucks, ambulances, and law enforcement's probably going to be showing up at the front door in a few minutes. So they better be there to meet them.
That's what we want. We want fast response. So tell me who you built this for. Who's your target?
Well, we built this really for anybody that's got a multi-line telephone system because, like I said, solving Carey's Law and Ray Bombs was the initial intent. But we very quickly realized that with the cell phone notifications that we can do and the dynamic routing on the PBX through the bandwidth network, we've got this dynamic real-time environment. So we've opened up the market to a ton of other things like mobile home parks, where people are cutting the cord and using cell phones. They don't have a phone in that facility. A large park environment, the beach on the New Jersey shore. You could have somebody having a heart attack 50 feet from a lifeguard. The lifeguard would never know about it. But again, using geospatial geofencing and all this technology, there are tons of use cases. Every time I talk to somebody, I come up with 5 new use cases. So I got to limit my conversation with you. I got a lot of work on my plate.
So let's go a little technical and let's drill down into how does this work?
Sure. So we detect a trigger event from something, whether it's a phone call, an alert from the cellular network, a sensor device going outside of spec for temperature or whatever. And that's the trigger alert. We then collect all of the location information that's relevant to that device, whether it's a phone or a sensor or whatever, and then we create this nice little package for internal first responders, and then we hand that off to public safety as well. And we utilize the bandwidth network to do that dynamic on-the-fly routing.
Okay, so that's great, and that's a great segue. Last question. Let's bring it back to Bandwidth and your integration with Bandwidth. How are you connecting with us?
Well, that really changed the whole scope of everything because, as you well know, 911 is very static, very rigid in the way it was built. And great, that worked in 1968. I used to work well in 1968, but today I'm not so good. We live in this dynamic mobile environment today. And what Bandwidth provides us is that dynamic routing from a location perspective. And it also provides us call verification. So when a call hits your network, the first thing you do is you ping my network back like you would ping an Annie Alley database of yesterday, except my network can validate that, yes, I did in fact send you that call. So we kind of unintentionally slap the spoofing problem in the face.
Precisely.
And then I also can provide you, by the way, yes, that was real, and here's what I need you to do with that call. And in sub-second, timeframes, you can process that and deliver it. Yet we've still got all the belts and braces of the default routing in place. If something should go haywire, we're going to get the call someplace where it can be answered and processed. It's really kind of the perfect environment.
That's awesome, Fletch. What we're going to do now is, for our listener, stay tuned for just a second, and we're going to switch screens over and do a quick demo. Is that correct, Fletch?
Correct. We're going to show you how this works on the back end.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, let's specifically look at the 911 Inform Location Discovery Solution, or LDS platform, used to provide an innovative new approach to tracking devices that otherwise are difficult or cannot be located through other means. The example that we're going to show you here represents an IP phone. However, this can be used for practically any device or service, which is how we remove dependencies from particular call servers. In this case, we'll start off with a registration event of the telephone itself. Now, this could be someone firing up their laptop within the building or outside while at home or in a public place, and then launching their SOFTPHONE client. That'll cause a registration event at the call server. It also could be an individual walking up to a drop-in cubicle or office, and then using their credentials to log into an existing physical device. Again, it'll cause a registration event with the call server. It also could be a user plugging in his or her phone after moving it themselves within the office, which will also cause a registration event in the call server when the phone goes back online. Or it could be an employee taking a physical IP phone home, plugging it into their local network, where it then registers back through a session border controller or VPN connection to the primary call server. In any of these cases, the network event that's occurring is a device, regardless of what it is, registering with an identity of an individual in the communications environment. And with that registration event, the 911 Inform LDS platform is provided with the user identity as well as the unique MAC address of the device that they used. Now, what we know at this point is who logged in and what the device was. However, the important missing piece of the puzzle is location. Fortunately, from the data that we do have, it's enough to initiate additional network forensics to find the missing piece, the location information. Now, what we do is, based on a user profile and the configuration, the LDS platform examines the information provided by the registration event and makes some assumptions. Does it appear, based on the IP address, that the user is in a known location, such as a floor, zone, or office within one of the buildings? Does it appear, based on the IP address or the data closet that they're connected through, that they're in a particular building? However, we're really not sure exactly where. Or does it appear that, based on the IP address, that the user is connecting from a remote location that's outside of the corporate network? And finally, what's the preferred contact mechanism of that user in these various scenarios? The LDS solution now has the information that it needs to make an intelligent decision about how to proceed with collecting the required location information. And depending on the requirements of the business, there are several ways that we can reach out to the users who've registered a device on the network, but more information is required to determine their location. Now, in the past, it was typically required that special software would have to be loaded on the laptop or the user's communications device that would communicate back with the primary call server. While we do offer that type of option for users that prefer a physical software client, most customers today welcome the opportunity to remove that restriction, and more implementations are supporting a bring-your-own-device environment, which makes software management nearly impossible, and it dramatically increases support requirements on the back end. So to work around that environment, the LDS solution utilizes any smart device that the user may have in their possession as a temporary location beacon. That beacon will help determine where they are in relation to their telephone device. Now, that location information is only accessed temporarily, and the connection with their smartphone isn't persistent or maintained once that the information is collected and confirmed. So let's take a look at Jake as an example. Here he's logged into his laptop and is logging into his Avaya Workplace communications client. Once that registration is complete, the 911 Inform platform is notified of the event, and we prompt Jake for his location information, in this example using a software client loaded on his PC. Now, based on the location information that was collected from the laptop or the smartphone device where a special web link had been sent, and the device not being located within a corporate facility or in a recognized location, it's assumed Jake is out in the public area and he's been presented with a Google Map view of his detected location. Now at this point he can move the marker to provide a finer granularity, and when he clicks to confirm, he's presented with the latitude and longitude, as well as the verified 911 Master Street Address Guide, or MSAG street address for that location. Now, before he submits the address and his location, he's got the opportunity to fill in the additional information that's located in the Address Line 2 field, which will be provided to first responders to better clarify the location information. Now, the user interface allows Jake to manage favorite locations. This way, for the areas he visits on a regular basis, he can manually select his location and submit it. Once this is done, the information is now live in the corporate location database within the 911 Inform LDS solution, and it's ready to be sent in real time to the 911 center in the event of an emergency call. Any delays or processing of the information have completely been eliminated, and the addresses are validated at the time of the input, ensuring accuracy. Now, should the user ignore the location requests, customers have the ability of establishing any additional requirements or escalations that might be required by any existing corporate policies. In this next example, Jake was detected as being at a Marriott hotel in Denver. This is a perfect example of where the address line 2 information can be amended in order to indicate a particular room number within the hotel, aiding first responders to get to his location quicker. When a user connects within a corporate location, but the location information cannot be captured from the registration event itself, the interface presented to the user includes a floor plan layout of the building. This allows them to quickly select a particular room or area where they're located. Now, the digitization of these maps is included with the 911 Inform LDS platform, and they're used for additional user location discovery, on-site notifications, and can also be provided directly to public safety first responders. In addition to user location information, the digitized floor plans that are provided with the 911 Inform LDS solution are also extensively utilized for on-site notification. They act as a single pane of glass interface for the management of the entire emergency event, and are easily extensible directly to the public safety first responder network containing both response personnel and vehicles, placing the command and control environment where it's needed most. Coupled with the Bandwidth Emergency Calling API for real-time location delivery and routing of 911 traffic, we've effectively recreated next-generation 911 functionality and operation within this transitional environment, allowing a simple migration to full NG 911 as the networks deploy.